Welcome to Goat vs. Fish.
Do you be goat? 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 Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Do you be goat? Do you be goat? Or do you be fish? Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Well, goat are of the land and fish are of the sea. But goat versus fish, which one do you be? Do you be goat or a fish? Meh. Do you be goat or a fish? Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Now repeat after goat versus fish. Doobie 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 doobie. A doobie goat, doobie goat, doobie goat, doobie goat, or doobie fish, a doobie goat or a fish, because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Well, goat versus fish came up to me and said, a goat or a fish, which one do you be? Do you be goat or a fish? 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 Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. The medieval fancier sits on the fence. But the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish?
Salutations, celebrations, and welcome, goat and fish, to the mighty verses of Goat vs. Fish. I am your Goat vs. Fish, Goat vs. Fish. And now, with your participation and your congregation, we shall enjoy a mighty verses. A mighty verses, a mighty verses. And here comes Goat versus Fish. Here comes Goat versus Fish. Goat vs. Fish, coming to a live living stream near you. How do you do? How do you do? And welcome back, Goat and Fish. Has it been 3 verses? Has it been 5 verses? Has it been 20 verses? Or has it been just 1 verses? Just 1 verses of Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish has been pondering a return to the living streams here on Twitch and YouTube with Goat vs. Fish, and now Goat vs. Fish is here. It's beginning to feel a lot like VsMas. Goat vs. Fish, we have to come back for VsMas and for the celebration of the new Mighty Verses. It seems just yesterverses was the Mighty Verses, and now the Mighty Verses is coming again. But Goat vs. Fish has been about performing at the Comedy Store Los Angeles and at goat farms, yes, with real live goat. And of course we have been to Place with Fish. We have been to Place with Fish too. And Goat vs. Fish has been keeping track of the news and what's been going on with Goat and Fish. Goat vs. Fish went to New York City where we performed as Goat vs. Fish. We were the MC of the Deep Fat Fried celebration in New Jersey, which will be on DVD, on Blu-ray and DVD coming soon. You'll be able to witness the grandeur of Goat vs. Fish. And just next verse is just on Sunday, Goat vs. Fish will be on the Dead Skeleton Show on YouTube, a guest that is Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish, a lot has been happening. It has not stopped being Goat vs. Fish. We even entertained Glowstick and Ash Casanova, who they say is a mermaid. Oh, my verses. Is it goat or is it fish? At the Temple of Goat vs. Fish. Some say the Church of Goat vs. Fish. Some say the Congregation of Goat vs. Fish. It has been construction. And we are pondering that in this new verses comes January, that Goat vs. Fish should start hosting regular services there at the Congregation of Goat vs. Fish in our ongoing quest to bring Goat vs. Fish all throughout the universe and to creation, not just a congregation here on the interwebiverse, but a congregation where you can come and visitation Goat vs. Fish, and you can link fins and link hooves with other goat and fish that you know, and the goat and fish can truly be together in verses and in unification, to enjoy some consumption, perhaps some inebriation, or just some simple libation with Goat vs. Fish, to build the myth of Goat vs. Fish, to build the belief in Goat vs. Fish, to build the practice of Goat vs. Fish. A practice that you too can do right there with you. Goat vs. Fish will give you the verses so that you know what to do. And of course, you goat and fish, are you goat or are you fish? You may think that Goat vs. Fish needs to provide you with some sort of large written tome, and it was written. Have you considered writing the tome of Goat vs. Fish? We say, and it was written. Perhaps it is you, the prophet of Goat vs. Fish, that makes it written that it's Goat vs. Fish. Many of you want to know the lore of Goat vs. Fish. Of course, in the beginning, there was Goat vs. Fish, and Goat vs. Fish said that there should be goat and that there should be fish. And it has always been Goat vs. Fish. There's much to the story of Goat vs. Fish. But Goat vs. Fish is not just a story. No, Goat vs. Fish is a practice. It is something to do, as the verses go. It is something to do, and it comes from within you. Goat vs. Fish is something to do. It's a question that we ask. Goat vs. Fish to incorporation Goat vs. Fish into your daily verses every day. It is not just the story of Goat vs. Fish that you must know. You must know what it is that you can do so that you can do Goat vs. Fish. And Goat vs. Fish will remind you that Goat vs. Fish does come from within you. Goat vs. Fish can give you Goat vs. Fish. But if you are looking to Goat vs. Fish for the precise practice of Goat vs. Fish, yes, Goat vs. Fish should share with you some practices of Goat vs. Fish. But when it comes to the universe, it is you who determine the practice of Goat vs. Fish, ways to incorporation Goat vs. Fish into your universe. But Goat vs. Fish will do some demonstration of ways that Goat vs. Fish incorporates Goat vs. Fish so that you can take inspiration for your celebration and incorporation Goat vs. Fish into your universe. And of course, any verses that you ask someone you know or someone that you don't know, are you goat or are you fish? That is perhaps the greatest practice of Goat vs. Fish that you can incorporation into your universe. Goat or fish? We ask goat or fish. Are you goat or are you fish? Or goat or fish, a simple verses of goat or fish. So Goat vs. Fish will begin this verses celebration. Bailed in with a subscription to Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish, always appreciation your contributions to Goat vs. Fish. And of course, you can join the Patreon of Goat vs. Fish. You can watch YouTube videos of Goat vs. Fish. You can log into Twitch and subscribe to Goat vs. Fish or exclamation point tip to make a contribution to Goat vs. Fish. Your contribution to the congregation is always welcome here on Goat vs. Fish. Bayoed 420, 33 months. Hell yes, Goat vs. Fish. Hell yes, Goat vs. Fish! So as we were versus goat or fish, and that is how we will begin this versus. We are going to ask you, goat or fish. Yes, in future living streams of Goat vs. Fish, we're going to be covering the news of Goat vs. Fish, many stories of Goat vs. Fish, but we will always leave verses to ask goat or fish, which is a fine versus to begin any verses of Goat vs. Fish. Goat or fish, goat or fish. We do have a few now even watching Goat vs. Fish. Yes, many have been waiting for the return of Goat vs. Fish, and some are not expecting Goat vs. Fish, so they are not here to witness Goat vs. Fish, and they will say, I missed Goat vs. Fish. How come I didn't know it was Goat vs. Fish? Well, this is a secret versus. This was just a little secret versus to get back into the living stream of Goat vs. Fish, and we do have some here. We do have some here in the chat of Goat vs. Fish. So let's look at this. Let's try a new scene of Goat vs. Fish. Here's the chat scene of Goat vs. Fish. Oh, yes. This is the Twitch chat of Goat vs. Fish, though Goat vs. Fish is looking to also at the YouTube of Goat vs. Fish. And let us say of the YouTube, we have Adam S. on YouTube who says fish here, Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. Adam S. the Fish on YouTube. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish. We do welcome you to Goat vs. Fish. So let's get a fish. Let's get a fish right there on Goat vs. Fish. Let's get a fish right there on Goat vs. Fish, shall we? Celebration for fish. Let's get a big fish. Let's get a nice big fish to start the verses. Now there's a fish. Make some noise for the fish. Make some noise for the fish. We've got a fish in the verses. Celebration for fish. Adam S. How do you versus the goat? How do you versus the goat? Keep up these verses. You declare goat or fish. You tell us how do you versus the goat. We have a little conversation with Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish is here to be your parasocial relationship. Goat vs. Fish is your premier parasocial relationship. So, have a conversation with Goat vs. Fish. Long time no verses. Long fence no verses, but Goat vs. Fish is back. Is back here on this Los Angeles Satterverse's Late Night with Goat vs. Fish. Late Night with Goat vs. Fish. And Celebration for Fish from Jayhawker94. Celebration to you, Jayhawker94, for joining Goat vs. Fish. And Bayoed 420. With the sound of the fish. Bayoed 420 with the sound of the fish. With the sound of the fish. Bayoed 420 with a subscription to Goat vs. Fish and 25 bits for fish. So Goat vs. Fish, shall we count the subscription? Shall we count the subscription and the bits? Shall we count the subscription and the bits? Let's do both verses.
My fish army is ever growing.
Ooh.
And soon I will overthrow the world. Very beautiful. Very powerful.
Goat vs. Fish. Let's do. Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish will do. Goat vs. Fish. Sub. Here we have sub. Here we have bits. Well, Goat vs. Fish, we'll call it tips. Or shall we call it donations? Let's call it donations or contributions. We'll call it donation to Goat vs. Fish. We are donation to the congregation of Goat vs. Fish. Dono. Sub dono. We have sub dono, and then for fish, we'll reverse the verses. For fish, we'll reverse the verses. Dono sub. Dono. There's the sound of something to Goat vs. Fish. And hype training has begun. Wow Mom with 42 months appreciation from Goat vs. Fish. Wow Mom with a tier 2 subscription, 60 months of Goat vs. Fish. Wow Mom says, what's 60 months in the grand scheme of the verses? It's an infinity to Goat vs. Fish. It's a lifetime of Goat vs. Fish. It is but a small moment of Goat vs. Fish. It is an eternity of Goat vs. Fish. Wow Mom, Tier 2, 60 months of Goat vs. Fish.
You become what you always were. A very big fish.
A very, very big fish. Jayhawker with a very, very big fish. We have Wow Mom with Tier 2 for 60 months. Wow Mom, are you goat or fish? Are you goat or are you fish? Eldergrown with 47 months. Eldergrown, are you goat or fish? Let's get those declarations. Lithadora with a smellabration for fish. A smellabration? Smells like fresh fish. Smells like fresh fish. We've got Lithadora with a smellabration for fish. So let's get 100 for fish in the donation. 100 for fish in the donation. And Eldergrown the goat. Eldergrown the goat. Lithadora fish. Lithadora fish. Eldergrown the goat. Eldergrown the goat. Eldergrown the goat. And Eldergrown with 47 months of Goat versus Fish. With 47 months of Goat versus Fish. So for subscription, let's tally the subscription. Let's tally the subscription. Let's tally the subscription. Subscription. How shall we tally the subscription of Goat versus Fish? With little verses? With little verses of Goat versus Fish? With little verses of Goat versus Fish? Perhaps we could have little goat and fish. We could have little magnetron goat and fish. Well, we'd better start counting the verses. We'd better start counting the verses. Let's have magnetization. Let's have magnetization for counting these subscriptions of goat and fish. And if there are too many magnetization, then listen, we're just going to have to keep going here on Goat versus Fish. Eldergrown with 100 bits, 100 bits for goat. Eldergrown with 100 bits for goat. Appreciation. The Trollolo goat, and Goat versus Fish. Jayhawker with 100 bits, Jayhawker, was that for goat or fish? Wow Mom goat, Tier 2 subscription for goat, So let's get subscription. Let's get Wow Mom. Here's a goat subscription. We'll have one subscription for goat. We'll get a goat. That's one subscription for goat. And Goat versus Fish. We had Baodin 420 with the fish. So let's get a fish. Fish subscription for fish. Let's get a sub for fish. We've got a goat and we've got a fish. And we have Eldergrown with goat. So let's get another goat subscription there in the verses of Goat versus Fish. Jayhawker is always fish. Another goat subscription. There's goat. There's another goat subscription for goat. And we have Eldergrown with 5 gifted verses. Eldergrown with 5 gifted verses to Goat versus Fish. 5 gifted verses to Goat versus Fish. We might need more goat. We might need a bigger goat. So we have Eldergrown. We have Wow Mom the goat. We have Wow Mom the goat in the verses. Patistador, are you goat or are you fish? Eldergrown, 100 bits. Lithadora, 100 bits. Do we have any other bits? We have Jayhawker, 94. Are you goat or are you fish? Patistador is fish. Let's get another fish. The chaos of Goat versus Fish. We have Eldergrown with 5 more subscriptions for goat. So we need to get 5 more subscriptions for goat. And Baodin 420, another 75 bits for fish. Another 75 in donation for fish. So let's get 75 more in donation for fish. That's 175 for fish. Not 174 5 fish, but 175 for fish. 175 for a fish. And Goat versus Fish. Eldergrown with 5 goat. We need 5 goat. Micronaut says Team Piranha, that's another fish. That's another fish. And Real Convos says we are here and we are goat. Celebration for goat. Real Convos in the YouTube of Goat versus Fish. Appreciation. There's your goat. When we met you, says Real Combos, you said you were interested in Real Combos. Now Real Combos has an interest in Goat versus Fish. We have real conversations with Goat versus Fish. We sometimes do a Goat versus Fish call-in show. Goat versus Fish is here to have a real conversation with you. And real conversations always begin with, are you goat or are you fish? And now Real Combos that you have declared goat, we will ask you, what is the fish in your life? What is the fish in your life that you struggle to versus today? You are a goat. Tell us, what is the fish you versus? Let's have a real conversation. What is the fish that you versus? Tell us about yourself, goat. What is the fish you versus? Ariel Combo says, I don't know what bits are, and besides the thing that runs a Sega says, I would love to give you some bits. Bits are what they do on Twitch. Goat vs. Fish is also live on Twitch. Bits are just a versus where you can make a donation to Goat vs. Fish. But if you want to leave a contribution to Goat vs. Fish is going to put a link into the YouTube for you, where even you can tip Goat vs. Fish. Redolent Thought says, I cut ties with all the fishes in my life after the great fishing. Oh, Redolent Thought. Welcome back to Goat vs. Fish. Are you goat or are you fish? We float down here, says celebration for goat, says celebration for goat. But let us not forget the 5 gifted verses from Eldergrown. So we need 5 goat. We need 5 whole goat. So let's get some goat. Let's get 5 whole goat to put onto Goat vs. Fish. So here's a goat. Here's a goat. That's 1 goat. 1 goat for the subscription for goat. That's 1 goat. That's 1 goat. Let's get a second goat. Here's another goat. Here's a mountain goat. Here's a mountain goat. That's another subscription for goat. That's another subscription for goat. We're just going to keep piling on the goats. We're going to keep piling on the goats. We've got fish too. But with 5 for goat, that was 2. We need 3 more goat descriptions. We have 3 more. We have 3 more goat descriptions. Here's goat. Here's another goat. Here's another fine goat. That's another goat on the verses. That's another goat on the verses. And we have another goat, and we have another goat. It's a stout alpine goat. It's stout alpine goat. Goat going on the verses. Goat going in the verses. And the fifth elder-grown gifted verses. Ah, yes, the pygmy dwarf goat. The pygmy dwarf goat going on the verses. And there we are. There's 5 subscription from Eldergrown. Appreciation. Appreciation for your contribution to Goat vs. Fish. Appreciation for your contribution to Goat vs. Fish. Redolent Thought is always goat. So let's get a 5th goat. Let's get a 5th goat. Redolent Thoughts has mighty political streams of Goat vs. Fish. Mighty political streams of Goat vs. Fish. Jay Hawker says always fish. Lithadora Fish Celebration. And Goat vs. Fish. Paraplui says goat. Let's get another goat. Will OD says goat fish. Will OD, are you goat or fish? So we've got a lot of goat here. Ariel Combos continues the combo and says, my fish is the fear of failure. My goat is the confidence that shall chew through the grass of self-doubt. Celebration. Ariel Combos, yes, the fish is the fear of failure. The fish of failure. Goat vs. Fish knows the fish of failure very well. Some say to this very day that Goat vs. Fish is a huge failure. To this day, Goat vs. Fish is put on many compilations of the biggest fails of America's Got Talent, the biggest fails of Kill Tony. But so many more still recognition. Goat vs. Fish has an underground legend, and Goat vs. Fish has the evidence. Yes, goat can feel as failure. Fish can fear as failure. Some might say the absence of Goat vs. Fish itself from the living streams was a fear of failure. A failure to return. What if Goat vs. Fish returns and there is no one there to watch Goat vs. Fish? What if Goat vs. Fish fails? What if Goat vs. Fish fails to ask everyone in the universe, are you goat or fish? We're not going to let that happen. We're going to ask everyone, are you goat or are you fish? So, Ariel Combos, your fish is the fear of failure. Your goat is the confidence that shall chew through the grass of self-doubt. Tell us, how does the grass taste? How does the grass of self-doubt taste, Ariel Combos? How does it taste? Appreciation for the conversation. Synthesizer Sam says, hey, Synthesizer Sam, are you goat or are you fish? Redolent Thought says, first. And Synthesizer Sam has received a gifted subscription. Yes, this is the current verses. We have Goat vs. Fish. We have 1 subscription and 175 donation points for Fish. We have 100 donation points for Goat and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 subscription for Goat. 7 subscription for Goat. Lithadora says, normalize goldfish sushi. Normalize goldfish sushi. Yes, we saw the goldfish sushi on the Instagram story of Goat vs. Fish. And Ariel Combo says the grass of self-doubt is sweet good, sir. Eldergrown says, Goat vs. Fish has been seen on America. Versus how can that be a failure? Goat vs. Fish? Perhaps a failure. The fish of failure is just in your perceptions, If some perceive Goat vs. Fish to have failed, then they think they've nailed Goat vs. Fish. Who is Goat vs. Fish to deny? Goat vs. Fish can be your triumph. Goat vs. Fish will be your failure. Goat vs. Fish simply is what we are, and I am what I is, and I am what I am, and it's not donkey versus lamb, it's Goat vs. Fish. Some perceive the 2,000 YouTube subscribers of Goat vs. Fish as a failure. Some see the 2,000 subscribers of Goat vs. Fish as a triumph. We all know they all perceive Goat vs. Fish differently, and Goat vs. Fish perceives all of you differently, be you goat or fish. There can be no failure unless you stop trying, says Ariel Combos. Tell us, we want to know. Who has stopped trying? Who among you has stopped trying? Tell us, congregation. Tell us, dear congregation. You're more than a chat. You're a congregation. Who has stopped trying? Goat vs. Fish wants to know who is there typing to Goat vs. Fish who has stopped trying. You've stopped trying. Why even continue these verses? Why even continue Goat vs. Fish when the fences are so tall, when the fences of doubt are so strong? Who out there? Who's not trying anymore? Who's not trying? Wow, Mom says, if your goal is to fail and you accomplish that, what have you done? Paradox for Goat vs. Fish. Some sort of paradoxical verses.
Ooh.
If your goal is to fail and you accomplish that, then what have you done? Wow, Mom, you have not accomplished anything. If your goal is to fail and you have done it, then you have not done it. If your goal is to fail and you have done it, then you have not even succeeded. Then you have not even succeeded at failing. So you have not failed. You have not even begun to triumph. You have not begun to triumph. You have not begun to fail. It sounds like you're on the fence. If your goal is to fail and you accomplish that, it sounds like fence sitting to Goat vs. Fish. And you're not going to get anything done on the fence, let Goat vs. Fish tell you. You're not going to get it done on the fence. You've got to get off that fence to get it done. It is the fence sitter that wants to come up with these ponderous verses. Well, my goal is to fail, so I accomplished that, so that means I've done what I have set out to do. So it's a triumph, it's a failure. But Goat vs. Fish, let us ponder, let us use our fence imaginations for verses. Sometimes Goat vs. Fish ponders that, what if the goal is to fail? What if the goal is to fail? Goat vs. Fish could perceive this. That failure, Goat vs. Fish was speaking. Let us say it like this. Goat vs. Fish was speaking to a comedian out in the scene of Los Angeles, and this comedian shared a wisdom to Goat vs. Fish, some fence wisdom. And the comedian said, my goal is to fail, said the comedian to Goat vs. Fish. For, said the comedian, failure is inevitable. If I try enough times, if I go out there and tell my jokes over and over again, inevitably, sometimes I will fail. And perhaps in the beginning, I will fail more times than I triumph as I learn the skills I need to communication my comedy out to the masses of Goat and Fish, said the comedian to Goat vs. Fish. And Goat vs. Fish responded, are you goat or are you fish? And, of course, the fence sitter continued pontification. They said, presuming I am to fail so many times, said the fence sitter, then I make my goal to fail as many times as possible. I go out there, I say my verses, And the more times I fail, the more times I will have tried, and the more times I have tried, the greater my skills will become. Until eventually you will fail to fail, you will fail to fail, but no matter how many verses you fail to fail because you have triumphed, there will still be verses in which you fail. But if the verse is, as Wow Mom the Goat so poignantly philosophications, is to fail and you have done this, then have you truly triumphed? This type of circuitous ponderousness is fine if it can give you a motivation to get out there in verses, But the desire to fail can also have the reverse effect of giving you the fence excuses you have to do nothing. So as long as these ponderings and philosophications can give you the motivation to get out there and do Goat versus Fish, then that's a fine versus. But if you are using these circumlocuitous ponderings to give yourself the fence excuses to do nothing, well, Goat versus Fish cannot endorse this, because Goat versus Fish is something to do. It is something to do. And that is why Goat vs. Fish is here with you now. There were a lot of fences. For the past 3 millennia, Goat vs. Fish has been thinking, Goat vs. Fish, we need to go live again. Goat vs. Fish needs to go on the live streams again. And there were a lot of fences in the way. But Goat vs. Fish said, not today. Not today. Goat vs. Fish will go live, and you have rewarded Goat vs. Fish. Appreciation. You are all here for Goat vs. Fish. You've made donations to Goat vs. Fish. Your presence is here with Goat vs. Fish. You're showing up for Goat vs. Fish. This is just the beginning of a new chapter of Goat vs. Fish. Our Real Combo says, some say it is what it is, but I say it's not what it isn't. It's not what it isn't. But is it goat or is it fish? And Wussel Restbrook says, I'd like to cast my vote for fish. Consider your vote cast for fish. Let's get a fifth fish in the verses. Celebration for fish. Celebration for F-I-S-H, fish. And Psalm 11 says, young goat versus old stinky goat. Young goat versus old stinky goat? Goat versus Fish is not here to endorse goat on goat violence. We want goat to versus the fish. Psalm_11 on YouTube. Are you goat or are you fish? And what does the young goat have against the old stinky goat? The old stinky goat could surely learn a lot from the young goat. The young goat can learn from the old goat. Young goat has new strategies to versus fish. Old goat has the wisdom of versus past. Why are these goat in conflict with one another when they could be learning together how to triumph over a fish? Pickle Tone You, welcome back to Goat vs. Fish. Pickle Tone You, are you goat or are you fish? Goat versus Fish. Hello. Let's have a look. Goat vs. Fish has a new YouTube video out that brings us back to New York. As we have said, Goat vs. Fish went to New York. Goat vs. Fish went to New York. Goat vs. Fish went to New Jersey. Goat vs. Fish went to all of these places. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the most recent YouTube video of Goat vs. Fish that recaps a previous live stream of Goat vs. Fish. Just for the verses of it. Let's have a look at that YouTube video of Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish wants to see it. Goat vs. Fish wants to see it. Goat vs. Fish wants to see that versus. A glorious 37 views. Let's have a look at that versus. Goat versus fish. Here's a versus. New York City politics. Let's have a look.
Basically, it's telling me I need to take over the world to purify the race from the goats.
Goat discrimination. Fishes oppress us. They have been oppressing us for centuries.
It's a false narrative.
Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence.
Sure. Hey, how about we theater mode? That's the verses. We open up the vault of Goat vs. Fish. Have a look at this glorious introduction. Once more. Let's have a look at that. Goat vs. Fish. Wild on the streets of NYC.
Basically, it's telling me like I need to take over the road to like purify the race from the goats.
Goat discrimination. Fishes oppress us. They have been oppressing us for centuries.
It's a false narrative.
Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence.
Opening up the vaults of Goat vs. Fish.
Sure, welcome to New York City with the one and the only Goat vs. Fish, and here we have a lovely versus. We have just a lovely versus here with Goat vs. Fish.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, people.
Welcome.
Welcome to New York City.
Yes.
Appreciation.
Yes.
Thank you for welcoming
Oh, but of course, my good sir.
Goat vs. Fish.
Goat versus fish.
Goat vs. Fish. Have you ever heard of Goat vs. Fish?
You know what? I think I have.
You think you have, yes.
It's a grapevine.
And what is a grape?
Something to eat?
Something you eat.
It's a fruit. No, it could be. It could be or it could be a soap.
A soap.
Be a
It could
soap.
be a brick.
Be a
It
brick.
could be a tree.
Wow, it could be all
Could
kinds
be a
of
bird.
things.
Yeah.
Could be a plane. Or it could
be
be
you.
Superman.
It could be
This all sounds
Superman.
very complicated to Goat vs. Fish. Is this really what passes for conversation in the streets of NYC?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, when Goat vs. Fish asks what is a grape, the implication is, what is a grape? Is it goat or is it fish? But we are easing them into Goat vs. Fish. And you can see the confusion. You can hear all of the ways in which their ponderings go off into all kinds of different directions. And speaking of different kinds of things, and massive difference in interpretations between simple as a grape, something as simpling as something as simple as a grape. Without the guidance of Goat vs. Fish, our minds are left to wander too far astray from the truth of the verses, which is why we need to focus our intention upon Goat vs. Fish. Here's a real convo. Real Combo says, fantastic in New Jersey and the merch was delicious. According to Goat, appreciation on Real Combos. You were there in New Jersey with Goat vs. Fish, and now here you are back again with Goat vs. Fish. Celebration to you. Celebration to you. You were there in New Jersey at the Deep Fat Fried meetup with MC Goat vs. Fish. Psalm 11 says, can you tell us about future verses? How can past fish versus goat help us understand future verses of Goat vs. Fish? Well, Psalm 11, that's a fine verses. But remember that now is the current verses. And if you stay here with Goat vs. Fish and you learn about the current verses, then that will become the past verses, which will help you to comprehension future verses. And, of course, during this current verses, we're reviewing previous verses, and that previous verses was Goat vs. Fish on the streets of NYC. So we're reviewing the past verses in the current verses to give you information to help you with your future verses, which will become the current verses when you get to there. So there really isn't a past or a future verses. There's only now. The only verses is now. The only verses is now.
Yes, especially in this plaza right here.
And what is this plaza right here?
We call it the special place.
The special
very
place.
special place.
No one here knows what anything is called. We have found this many times before. Hi, I'm Goat vs. Fish. I'm visiting from Los Angeles. Where are we? I don't know. No one knows.
Why would we know?
Are you goat or fish?
I am.
Goat or fish? Guesses in the chat. Guesses in the chat. Goat or fish? Goat or fish for this one. Goat or fish for this one. Goat or fish for this one here. 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 We float down here says fence sitter. You think this one's a fence sitter? Redolent Thought says hi, welcome again. Redolent Thought, this is politics for you. Goat versus Fish. We're going to get into a political discussion. This was before the mayoral race. Psalm 11 says, the current verses is the only verses. That makes so much sense. Goat versus Fish will remind you that sense is for fence. Sense is for fence. And here we are. You have pondered Goat or Fish. But we have to avoid this confusion. We have to continue the verses. Wow, Mom says, I like that cartoon intro. Is that also Lauren's Lair? The cartoon intro was also Lauren's Lair. Yes, the verses continue.
I am Goat.
Celebration for Goat! Celebration
It's
for
Goat.
Goat!
It's Goat.
Why do you choose Goat?
Because Goat.
Because Goat. The Goat shows Goat because Goat.
Now look at this. For those who say Goat versus Fish, you are a failure. Goat versus Fish. You don't have enough social media numbers. Goat versus Fish reminds you, tries to tell them that this is what Goat vs. Fish is all about. Look at the smiles, look at the laughter as these ones, as we give them the celebration. That's Goat vs. Fish. That's the triumph of Goat vs. Fish. No matter how much one complains about Goat vs. Fish, about the repetition of Goat vs. Fish, about the popularity of Goat vs. Fish, about the high-profile rejections of Goat vs. Fish, it's not going anywhere, Goat vs. Fish. All of these complaints melt away, all of these little fenciness, all these little points on the fence, all dissolve in the face of this evidence of the goat and fish in celebration, thanks to Goat vs. Fish.
Because goat, the goat shows goat because goat. The goat shows goat because
Everybody
goat.
is a goat.
Everybody's a goat. What about the fish? What about the fish?
Not everybody can be a fish. but
Not everybody-
can be a goat.
Oh, my verses. What is this discrimination? Well, not everyone can be fish. So who gets to be fish then? Who gets to be fish?
Some person. I don't know.
Well, someone gets to be
Yeah.
fish. We have goat for the goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for
Oh
goat.
my God. I am goat.
Goat or fish.
Fish.
Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. Fish, 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 fish. So what do you say, goat? Are you going to give your special permission for this fish to be fish? What do you say, goat? What do you say to the fish? Oh, flabbergasted. The goat has nothing
What
to
would
say
I say
now.
to the fish?
What would you say to fish?
Well, I'm just going to say you are unique because not everybody can be you, but a goat is a goat.
Why do you choose fish?
Because fish just speaks to me, you know?
And this is the verses when we say Goat vs. Fish comes from within you. And this is how you can do Goat vs. Fish when they say the fish speaks to me. Then, Goat vs. Fish, we challenge them with their own reality. The fish speaks to you? Well, then, let's speak to the fish. Let's speak to the fish.
Guys, okay, so to translate real quick, basically it's telling me how I need to take over the road to purify the race from the goats.
Has there been too much goat infiltration into the bloodlines of fish, the sacred bloodlines of fish?
This is goat discrimination.
Goat
This is goat discrimination right here.
Well, you were the one who was saying that not everyone can be fish.
We
What's with
support
that?
goats in all campuses in NYC.
Absolutely.
But the
These
fish.
fishes oppress us. They have been oppressing us for centuries.
Is this true? Is this true?
It's a false narrative. We are
false
just
narrative,
spreading.
they say.
We're just spreading
Blasphemy,
knowledge of
lies,
our time.
blasphemy. That is what it is.
We have
If this isn't politics with Goat vs. Fish, tell us, Redlin Thought. If this isn't politics with Goat vs. Fish, if this isn't the real politics with Goat vs. Fish, you should cover this. You should cover this on your political program, Redlin Thought, because that's what's really happening. That's what's really happening. Lucas Luminario says, "Hi, Goat vs. Fish." Lucas Luminario, are you goat or are you fish? Psalm 11 says, if sense is for fence, so nonsense is not fence. Well, if sense is for fence, then perhaps nonsense is for goat versus fish. Perhaps nonsense is for goat versus fish. Real Combos says, when life gives you fences, choose the dry side. Goat for life. Real Combos. Real Combos with the goat. And Pickletone U has made their declaration known for fish. So let's get that fish. Let's get that fish in the verses. We got the fish in the verses. Zippy 9000 says, hi, goat versus fish. Long time no fence sitting. Zippy 9000. Long fence no verses. Zippy 9000. Are you goat or are you fish? Are you goat or are you fish? Are you goat or are you fish? Zippy 9000 redeemed a celebration for goat. Celebration for goat! Ah! That's 7 goat and 6 fish.
I've never ever done anything to goat.
Fish has never done anything to goat. Fish has done nothing ever to goat.
Oh no, that is a bunch of balderdash. That is what I say.
We have one goat and one fish, but the verses comes down to you, stuck in the middle between the goat and the fish.
Goat or fish, goat or fish, goat or fish for this one. Elder Grown with 5 gifted verses. Elder Grown with 5 gifted verses is the one in the middle, goat or fish. Elder Grown with 5 gifted verses. Elder Grown with 5 gifted verses. And while we are counting those Goat versus Fish is going to put a link to this YouTube video in the chat. We want you to go there. We want you to like, and we want you to comment, and perhaps we want you to share. But it's time now. It's time now for 5 gifted verses. So let's not be so precious. Let's not be so precious. Let's not be so precious with our little magnetic goats. Let's get 5 more. We have to find 5 more magnets of goat. 5 whole more magnets of goat for 5 more subscriptions. And if we run out of magnets of goat, well, if we run out of magnets of goat, Goat versus Fish will tell you this. We have some new, never before seen, unopened goat and fish magnets. We have some new, never before seen, unopened goat and fish magnets. Never before seen goat and fish magnets. If we expend all of the opened goat and fish magnets, then we'll open some more new goat and fish magnets. Eldergrown with a gifted versus to Zippy 9000. That's 1 more versus, so we need 6 for the goat. Goat. 6 more for goat. 6 more for goat. Let's get 1 more for goat. 1 more for goat. Celebration for goat. That's 1 more goat in the verses. 5 more for goat. 5 more for goat. 5 more for goat. The old bower goat. That's 1 more for goat. We need 4 more goat. We need 4 more goat. Do we have 4 more goat? Oh, look at this pretty goat. That's another goat. We need 3 more goat descriptions. And here's a fine goat. Goat. We need 2 more subscriptions for goat. 2 more subscriptions for goat. Here's another goat. Goat. We need 1 more subscription for goat. We need 1 more subscription for goat. Here's a classic goat. Here's a classic goat. That's a goat that we all know. Everyone loves this goat. Look at that smiley, horny goat. And that's 6 more goat descriptions. You have not yet forced Goat versus Fish to break into the new goats. Zippy 9000 redeemed a versus for goat. Celebration for goat. A versus for goat. Says Zippy 9000. 10,000 channel points with a versus for goat. Ganja Fairy says goat. Ganja Fairy says goat. So let's get that goat. 5, 6, 7, 8 goat. 8 goat and 6 fish. Celebration. 8 goat and 6 fish. A versus for goat, you say, to Goat versus Fish? A versus for goat, you say, to Goat versus Fish? Well, Goat versus Fish is going to say this. If you want to know if this one in the middle is on the fence, or if they choose goat, or if they choose fish, you're just going to have to watch the rest of the video yourself. So Goat versus Fish, once again, places the link in the chat. Let's get some likes on that versus. Let's get some subscriptions on the YouTube to Goat versus Fish. We have 4 there, 4 likes. We refresh Goat versus Fish.
Basically, it's telling me I needed to go.
And now there's 5 likes to Goat versus Fish. Someone's been doing their verses. And by the verses, like this living stream of Goat versus Fish, which is happening right here. And by the verses, like this living stream, which is happening right here. The living stream that's happening right here on Goat versus Fish. Right here on Goat versus Fish. Right here, you can see the living stream of Goat versus Fish. It's happening right here, right now on Goat versus Fish. And we're just going to copy the link, and we're going to post it in the chat of Goat versus Fish, so you can go onto the YouTube of Goat versus Fish, and that you can like the living stream of Goat versus Fish, and you can even chat to Goat versus Fish. The living stream of Goat versus Fish is versus on YouTube and on Twitch, where you can really enjoy Goat versus Fish in a multitude of ways, in a variety of ways. The year of 2025, we wanted to achieve monetization in 2025 on YouTube. It did not quite happen. But perhaps 2026 will be the verses. So much has happened here on Goat versus Fish. Your support is always welcome from Goat versus Fish. Celebration. So much has happened here on Goat versus Fish. Your support is always welcome from Goat versus Fish. Celebration. So much. Well, that was a fun little verseception, wasn't it? That was a fun little verseception. That was a fun little verseception of goat versus fish. We have redeemed a verses for goat. 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 So goat versus fish is going to go into the very large and long Google Drive folder. And we're going to look for some goat content to give you. We're going to look for some goat content to give you. Here's a fine verses. You want some goat? You want some goat? You want some goat? That one looks familiar to goat versus fish. We feel like we've done that versus. So let's try this. Goat versus fish. It is very fine still. Why won't this versus? Why won't you scroll for goat versus fish? Something's being fancy. The versus is being fancy. Wait to versus for goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. The current window is too small to display properly this sheet. Consider resizing your browser window or adjusting frozen rows and columns. What the fence? That's never happened before to goat versus fish. The window is too small? Well, do we just have to reduce goat versus fish like this? A radiation? Oh, we see what's happening. My verses. A radiation happening on goat versus fish. A radiation happening on goat versus fish. Tail Otter raids goat versus fish with 8. Tail Otter with 8. Welcome to goat versus fish. Tail Otter, welcome to goat versus fish. And for your radiation, Fluffy Ski Husky, welcome to Goat vs. Fish. For your radiation, we will give you this. Join us. Yes, join us in following Tail Otter. We know that here on Twitch, when you give someone a radiation, you want to see something. You want to see something special, so we'll give you something special right here, right now on Goat vs. Fish. What more could you ask for? What more could you want? What more could you want from a living stream? Whoa! Zippy 9000 with 40 bits for Goat. Zippy 9000 with 40 bits for Goat. 40 bits for Goat. 40 bits for Goat. Appreciation. Zippy 9000 with 40 bits for Goat. That's 40 bits for Goat. That's 140 verses for Goat. 140 verses for Goat. Thank you for the applause. That was epic. Fluffy Ski Husky. Goat or fish? Goat or fish? Which do you choose? Which do you choose? Goat or fish? Fluffy Husky. Fluffy Husky appreciation. And Goat versus Fish. Tail Otter. Are you goat or are you fish? Are you goat or fish? Tail Otter. Are you goat or are you fish? Tail Otter says fish. Tail Otter says fish. So are we going to keep track of the radiation in another verses? Do we keep track of the radiation in another verses? Yes, let's do a whole other verses for radiation. Raid is in the verses. We have 8 radiation points. But Tail Otter, that's not raid for Goat, raid for fish. Raid for fish. That's 8. 8 radiation points for fish. 8 radiation points for fish. 8 radiation points for fish. Tail Otter, as the verses goes, how was your stream? And since you're a fish, what is the goat in your life? What is the goat that you are currently versus? We have heard that the fish of self-doubt, we had a goat that was versing a fish of self-doubt, or was it a fish that was versing the goat of doubt? The goat of failure, the fear of failure, the fish or the goat of the fear of failure. But how about you? How about you, Tail Otter? You're a fish. What is the goat that you versus? What is the goat that you versus? Psalm 11 says, can you tell us about unification? Can you tell us about unification? We'll show you something about unification. Let that be your first lesson. Let that be your first lesson in unification. Right there, right there. That's your first lesson in unification. The stream was good, though there is no good or evil, only goat and fish. It was very otter stream, but now I am fish. Yes, be the fish now. Now be fish. Now be the fish. So we had a versus for goat. A versus for goat was redeemed. A versus for goat was redeemed. Several hours ago, Eldergrown with 11 goat descriptions, with 11 goat descriptions. How many goat descriptions do we have here? 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. That checks verses. That checks verses. Unifications in chat. Unifications in chat. For those subscribed to Goat vs. Fish. Okay, goat. We had a versus for goat that was redeemed. Let's try this. A versus for goat. Okay, goat and fish. It's time to revisitation. It's time to revisitation. One of our favorite verses. One of our favorite verses. It's time to revisitation. One of our favorite verses on Goat vs. Fish when it comes to wholesome goat content. When it comes to some fine goat content, there's one place we know we can go. There's one place we know we can go. And that is precisely what we're going to show here on Goat vs. Fish. That's precisely what we're going to show here on Goat vs. Fish. So here is your goat. Here's your goat. A versus for goat was redeemed. The Riley Ranch. Make some noise for the Riley Ranch. Let's hear it for some goat content.
What's on the menu?
Oh, my verses. That's way too loud for Goat vs. Fish. Don't we have some kind of extension, website volume, Goat vs. Fish? How about we?
Today, a wheel.
Yes. Down, website volume down, said Goat vs. Fish. Down, said Goat vs. Fish. Okay, let's try this verses once more.
Today, a wheelbarrow full of Cheetos.
Those look like hot ones. That looks like a hot versus. Who here are envious of these goats? These goats, they're probably a lot like you. There's probably some of you watching Goat vs. Fish on Twitch, and you're just like these goats. You're probably just rubbing all of that Cheeto all over your goat self, getting your fur all hot and spicy.
What's on the menu today? A wheelbarrow full of Cheetos.
Go be among your fellow goats. Eat the snacks. 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 Delicious goat. Look at those happy goat. Look at those happy goat. Goats love snacks. Red-bearded goats? Oh, those could be red-bearded goats. Some of those goats already have red beard. Some of those goats already have red beard. Tail Otter continues, right now the cold is the goat. The cold is the goat that you are versus. I must defeat the coldest fish. Cold versus fish. Goat versus fish. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true. In the frozen wastes. When the waters of fish freeze and become hard, so hard that goat could trample upon it. Some versus the fish will even use the hard, icy layer above the lakes and ponds as a form of insulation. They can see the goat trampling above it. But beware, goat. The ice may crack. And then into the lake of the cold fish you will fall. Versus that cold fish, you are well equipped. You are well equipped to survive in that cold fish. We believe that you can triumph, but goats have their own stratagem for dealing with the cold. Remember that. The cold is a fine versus. It's a versus. And in your versus, it's a goat. It's the goat. It's the goat that you are versus. Bundle up, and triumph over the cold goat. Triumph over cold goat. How do goat deal with the cold? Well, maybe they eat some hot Cheetos. Maybe it's the hot Cheetos that will keep the goat warm on these cold
What's
nights.
on the menu today? A wheelbarrow full of Cheetos.
And Goat vs. Fish replied 22 weeks ago, which shows you just how long ago and how long Goat vs. Fish has been holding on to these verses, waiting to share them with you. Goat vs. Fish says, crunch, 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 these goats are cheating for lunch. Would they cheat in a versus against the fish? We simply must wonder, why? Goat versus fish. You raise an excellent versus. These goats are cheating. Some would say that these goats are cheating. The goats are cheating. You say, I'm a goat on a diet, but I will have a cheat meal. Cheetos. Cheetos. Cheater goats. The goats are cheating. Are the goats cheating? Cheating in their verses. Cheating in their verses against the fish. If you are what you eat, if you are what you eat. The goats cheat. The goats cheat. And Zippy9000 says, I'm going to ensure that if those goats are cheating, Zippy9000, oh, MF Jingles, a raider from Tail Otter says fish. MF Jingles, follow Goat versus Fish. MF Jingles is fish. MF Jingles is fish. MF Jingles is fish. Zippy9000 says for goats, says 5 gifted subs for goats. 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 Zippy9000 with 10 bits. Zippy9000 with 10 bits. A gasping goat, a gasping goat. A gasping goat, and that's 5 more subscriptions for goat. That's 5 more subscriptions for goat. Goat, 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 goat. And we had another fish. We had another fish from the Tail Otter radiation. So let's get that fish in the verses. Fish, that's your fish. Zippy9000 with 5 for goat. Goat, 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 goat. 5 more for goat. We need 5 more goat magnets, everyone. 5 more goat magnets. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have here. We have the return of the Sonnen goat. Sonnen goat. Make some noise for Sonnen goat. There's the goat. That's 1 more goat. That's 1 more goat description. The Sonnen goat. We have this Nubian goat. We have this Nubian goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. Nubian goat. Celebration for goat. But we need 3 more goats. We need 3 more goats. We love you, Goat versus Fish. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your love of Goat versus Fish. Thank you for your love of Goat versus Fish. We need 3 more goats. Goat versus Fish checking the magnets of goat. Checking them. We found some more goat. We found some more unused but already opened goat magnets. Here's a goat. Here's a familiar goat. Creamy La Mancha goat. Hello, Sneaky Preacher. Welcome back to Goat vs. Fish. We're feeling very triumphant this versus. Sneaky Preacher, are you goat or fish? Welcome back to Goat vs. Fish. We have the baby. We have the baby goat. Baby goat. Baby goat. So that's four more goat. Now we know that somewhere out there are a few more. There's some other verses of goat. There's some other verses of goat that are already opened that have simply not found their way into this room right now, but they're not here now. So we think it's time to break into a new goat. We think it's time to break into a new goat. A totally new goat. Never yet seen before on Goat vs. Fish. A new goat magnet. Let's make the noise for a new goat magnet. New goat reveal. It's time for a new goat reveal. It's time for a new goat reveal. Sneaky preacher forever goat. Sneaky preacher forever goat. Sneaky preacher forever goat. There's your goat. Sneaky goat. Sneaky goat. New goat. New goat. Are you excited for new goat? Are you excited for new goat? Are you excited for new goat? Time for a new magnet goat. Time for a new magnet goat. Oh. Stonks was telling Goat vs. Fish. Stonks said, hey, Goat vs. Fish. Stonks said, hey, Goat vs. Fish. You really need to be doing your living streams. You need to be doing your living streams. You need to get Eldergrown to gift that gifted subscription to Sneaky Preacher. Stonk said, hey, Goat vs. Fish. Look, all this IRL Goat vs. Fish is all well in verses, but you need to get back earning those first American dollars on the living streams. That's what Stonks told Goat vs. Fish. And here you are, making your contributions to the congregation of Goat vs. Fish. So appreciation. Eldergrown with another gift of verses. Here comes our new goat. It's a proud one. Look at this proud goat. Look at this proud. Just a little derpy. Just a little bit of derp. 90% pride, 10% derp, maybe 20% derp. Have a look at that new goat. Have a look at that new goat. Have a look at that new goat. New goat, new magnet goat going right there in the verses. New magnet goat appreciation. New magnet goat and eldergrown with a gifted verses. Now, some of these goats, we're going to give them extra powers to convey their subscription, to convey the power of their subscription. So we're going to, this verses, we're going to say that this goat is thinking about tacos. Goat is thinking about tacos. Makes a noise for the goat thinking about a taco. And that goat pondering a taco, that taco pondering goat will count for it. That's 2 subscriptions there. That's 2 subscriptions. That's 2 subscriptions. Oh, what has happened? What has happened to Versplacia? Oh, the chaos of Versplacia. The chaos of Versplacia. So let's get a closer look at goat. Goat thinking about tacos. Goat thinking about tacos. Yes. Yes. Goat pondering tacos. Pondering taco goat. And now let's Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Can we revert? Oh, Goat vs. Fish. We may have to do something about that. Goat vs. Fish may have to do something about that, but we'll have to save that for a future versus. There seems to be some technification going on here on Goat vs. Fish. It happens, some phenological difficulties, but look at our beautiful goat army. Look at our beautiful goat army, and look at our one fish, the Baodin fish. The fish swims alone. The fish swims alone with but one glorious Baodin 420 subscription against an army of goats. Against an army of goats. A goat full of optimism, pondering, slightly out of focus, but never the fence, pondering taco goat. Nice goat. Nice goat. And there are more goats. There are more goats. There are more goats for you. Should you choose to offer your subs to Goat vs. Fish, there are more. There are more. Versplacia, we need to get back to Versplacia. We need to tidy up for Goat vs. Fish. But going live with you now, that's all part of the tidying process. That's all part of the tidying process here on Goat vs. Fish. Eldergrown says, Valiant Fish faces Goat Army. Respect for fish. Respect for fish. Respect. Respect the fish. Respect the fish. How about we try to plug in a little musication for Goat vs. Fish? We think you deserve versus some musication of Goat vs. Fish. Oh, as a matter of verses, Goat vs. Fish, we could preview for you. We could preview for you a live set of Goat vs. Fish. We could preview. Goat and Fish, you have done so much for Goat vs. Fish, so many subscriptions for Goat vs. Fish, that we think that perhaps we're going to give you Goat vs. Fish. We're going to reward you with a preview of an upcoming video of Goat vs. Fish, because you deserve versus it. Goat vs. Fish, we're not going to hide it behind any kind of subscription goal. You have already given so much to Goat vs. Fish that if you are here watching Goat vs. Fish now, we're just going to give it to you. We're going to show it to you now in the spirit of VsMas. We're going to show it to you now. Goat vs. Fish made an appearance at the Comedy Store Los Angeles, a live appearance of Goat vs. Fish, and the audience they went for Goat vs. Fish. They loved Goat vs. Fish. They absolutely loved Goat vs. Fish. So Goat vs. Fish, we want to show you now. We want to show you now. We want to show you now. Pause the verses. So Goat vs. Fish, we want to show you now this amazing live set of Goat vs. Fish. A live preview set of Goat vs. Fish just for you. Just for you. How about that? How about that? How about a live preview of the set of Goat vs. Fish? How about a live preview of the set of Goat vs. Fish? Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Properties of Goat vs. Fish. We have to do the verses. Goat vs. Fish. Audio properties of Goat vs. Fish. Audio properties of Goat vs. Fish.
My bum is on the rail. Bum is on the rail. Look at me. My bum is on the rail.
Zippy 9000. How could you be so offensive to Goat vs. Fish? Decapotable 5, first time chatter. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish. Decapotable 5. Are you goat or are you fish? Answer now or forever sit on the fence. Oh my verses, oh my verses, oh my verses. Oh my verses. Audio properties, Goat vs. Fish. Audio properties, Goat vs. Fish. Let's reduce the verses. So this was Goat vs. Fish at the Comedy Store, the Los Angeles world-famous Comedy Store. That's Billy Myers III. That's Billy Myers III. Who invitationed Goat vs. Fish to do a little show called The Riff Raff. This was just last Saturday. So you may say, where have you been, Goat vs. Fish? Where have you been? Goat vs. Fish has been IRL, and here's Goat vs. Fish at the Comedy Store just last week. And let's see how the live audience reacts to Goat vs. Fish. Let's see how the live audience reacts to Goat vs. Fish. Let's see how the live audience reacts to Goat vs. Fish.
Don't believe you. So what we're going to do right this second is I think we're going to have an intermission for a second. Just going to have a nice little meditation. Little pause. Little time to reflect from Goat vs. Fish.
Enjoy the verses, enjoy the verses. Enjoy live goat versus fish. This is what happens when you're not logged into Twitch and you go out there in the universe and you see goat versus fish.
Yay! Let's go!
Versus fish.
Enjoy these holiday verses.
Goat versus fish, fish versus goat, in perpetual style. In the air there's a feeling of goat versus fish mess. Horns a clashing, fins a splashing, it's a mighty melee. And to every fence sitter we say, are you goat? Are you fish? It's VsMas time, goat and fishy. Hear them blub, hear them bleat, and soon it shall be VsMas Day. The celebration, celebration, global fish markets rise as the mountain goats make merry purchase. Merchandising, advertising, it's a presently task. And to every fence sitter we ask, are you goat? Are you fish? It's VsMas time, goat and fishy. Hear them blub, boom, boom, boom. Hear them bleat. But soon it shall be VsMas Day. Soon it shall be. I don't want to not this VsMas Day. It's just one thing I need, and I don't care about fence sitters sitting by the VsMas tree. I just really want to know if you are a fish or goat. Make my dreams come true. All I want for VsMas is you to choose a goat or a fish. Make it a fishing baby. Are you goat or fish like me? Yeah.
Wow, this is great.
You will find the goat and fish are mingling. In your mind, the one true question tingling. Woo! Will temporarily suspend shit flinging when we hear those beard bells ringing. We are making it twice and we're checking a list. We're gonna find out who's goat and who's fish. No VsMas is asking around. Now there may be some of you still who are on the fence about celebration this VsMas. And for that we have this to say to you.
Who here has been familiar with a little comedy program called South Park? That's 100, that's 100, that's 100 for goat. That's 100 for goat. Goat now take the lead. Goat now take the lead in contributions. Adult content or adult language warning. This one goes out to the fence sitters.
Hey there, Mr. Fence Sitter. Merry fucking VsMas. I stayed up real late last night so that I
It's a birthday show for Billy.
Fucking celebrate! Mighty birthday to you. Mighty birthday to you. Mighty birthday to you. Mighty birthday to you. Another year older, another year closer to death. Another year older, another verse closer to fence. Oh, goat may have passions and fish may have dreams, but goat versus fish not as long as it seems. But anyway, mighty birthday to you. Mighty birthday to you. Mighty birthday to
Nice versus Goat versus Fish.
Want to see your next versus celebration for Goat versus Fish?
Goat versus fish, y'all! It was goat versus fish or Santa Claus, and I've shared enough birthdays with Christmas of not doing it anymore. Oh, yeah.
And that was Goat versus Fish. That was Goat versus Fish at the Comedy Store Los Angeles. That was Goat versus Fish with a huge triumph at the Comedy Store. Yes, now you have seen. Appreciation. If you book Goat vs. Fish at your comedy places, they were entertained by Goat vs. Fish. How they were entertained by Goat vs. Fish. Now you can see Goat vs. Fish at the Comedy Store every Monday at 10:30 p.m. in the Belly Room. That's every Monday, 10:30 p.m. in the Belly Room at what they call the Ding Dong Show. Don Barris is the Ding Dong Show. But Goat vs. Fish is here to tell you. Goat vs. Fish is here to tell you. Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish is here to tell you that you can see Goat vs. Fish every 10:30 p.m. Mondays at the Comedy Store, Los Angeles, in the Belly Room for the Ding Dong Show. It's a free show. You can come to see Goat vs. Fish. But it was written that show that you just saw Goat vs. Fish do, that one that was called the Riff Raff with Billy Myers, that was truly the first time that Goat vs. Fish has been booked at the Comedy Store Los Angeles. So Goat vs. Fish, we felt a lot of pressure poking at us from various fence posts. We need Goat and Fish to come out to support Goat vs. Fish. We need the audience to enjoy Goat vs. Fish. They said you have 5 minutes, Goat vs. Fish. We're giving you 5 minutes and Goat vs. Fish. We rehearsed this. Shout out to Ray Cameron, who gave us advice to Goat vs. Fish, who helped us tighten up the celebration. We knew we wanted a triumph because Goat vs. Fish, they say Goat vs. Fish has your own thing going on. You're not quite like the other comedians, Goat vs. Fish. They're taking a risk, they may feel. They're taking a chance on Goat vs. Fish. Well, let that be an evidence to you. Take your chance on Goat vs. Fish. We're going to give you a very special versus. And the paying audience in Hollywood, deep in the heart of Hollywood, Goat vs. Fish triumphed! It was a triumph for Goat vs. Fish! Disciple with 500 bits. I know it's not a lot, but be proud. Goat vs. Fish felt proud now. Goat vs. Fish felt proud not just of Goat vs. Fish, but for all of you. For of all the thousands of hours that Goat vs. Fish has spent out there in the universe, IRL and Goat vs. Fish, all of the living stream hours, all of that contribution, every experience and moment of practice of Goat vs. Fish, all went into that glorious 5-minute Comedy Store set of Goat vs. Fish. So we have all of you to thank for all of your support of Goat vs. Fish and all of your patience of Goat vs. Fish. So know that even when Goat vs. Fish is not here on the interwebiverse and is not doing as many live streamings as you would like, that Goat vs. Fish is out there practicing Goat vs. Fish, being Goat vs. Fish, doing new, beautiful verses of Goat vs. Fish, and we share with you now the evidence. We share with you now the evidence of Goat vs. Fish at the Comedy Store Los Angeles. And then Goat vs. Fish returns to you, and you reap the rewards of all of the verses that Goat vs. Fish did out there. It's a very Goat vs. Fish kind of situation. It's the goat of streaming versus the IRL. Well, let's say the fish is the stream because fish swim in streams. It's the fish of streaming, and it's the IRL goat. In some verses, it's the fish of the stream. It's the fish of the stream. But then Goat takes that experience of versing the fish of the stream, and then the IRL goat gets out there and versus the fish, gets out there and versus the fish, and then the fish learns the experience that the IRL goat, who had just learned from the streaming experience of the fish, and then the fish versus the goat, and the goat uses that experience to versus the fish again, and it's Goat versus Fish, and it's Goat versus Fish, and it results in a glorious unification of Goat and Fish, where whether Goat vs. Fish is out there or on your screen, Goat vs. Fish is the best it's ever been. Celebration to you for supporting Goat vs. Fish, and celebration for Goat vs. Fish! Celebration for Goat vs. Fish! Disciple with 500 bits. Disciple appreciation for 500 bits. Who says you've come a long way, and disciple Goat or Fish, disciple Goat or Fish. Disciple. Gat Warrior, that was awesome. The Shink, welcome. Thank you. Psalm 11 says, a terrific performance. The Shink, are you Goat or Fish? Are you Goat or Fish? That video is not live yet. It's not on YouTube, except in this living stream. We will be publishing it soon enough, but we wanted to give you a preview of that verses. Disciple says Goat, celebration for Goat. Says Goat, that's 500 for Goat. A total of 750 now for Goat, 750 now for Goat. World premiere! A world premiere of the video, but of course those who were there, they got the real premiere. They got the real premiere on Goat vs. Fish. Oh, and Goat vs. Fish is going to be a guest on a living stream. Is going to be a guest on a living stream tomorrow. Goat vs. Fish is going to be a guest on a living stream tomorrow called the Dead Skeleton Show. So we think that we should show you a link to that out of respect for Goat vs. Fish. We are Razide, says Celebration for Fish. Celebration for Fish, indeed. And Deca Potable 5, potable drinking water. Oh, hey, look, it's the Dead Skeleton Show. Deca Potable 5 with a subscription to Goat vs. Fish. With a raw sub to Goat vs. Fish. Celebration for raw sub to Goat vs. Fish. Deca Potable 5, are you Goat or are you Fish? Are you Goat or Fish? And 100, oh, my verses, yes! To you too! That's a Goat scream. That's a scream for Goat. We're going to presume that is a scream for Goat. That's a scream for Goat. That's a Goat. That you are screaming for Goat, as opposed to a goat screaming in anguish. As opposed to a goat screaming in anguish because you are a fish, and it's like, oh no, another fish. But we've got Goat now. We've got Goat now, so let's get another Goat scription. Let's get another Goat scription on there. We found an old goat. We found an old hiding goat. Not yet ready for a new goat. Not yet ready for a new goat. Flop Smiley was hiding behind a fish. Flop Smiley, celebration. Flop Smiley the fish. This is your goat subscription. This is your goat subscription for a goat. Let's add Flop Smiley onto the verses. That's another subscription for goat. If you want new goat reveals, if you want more goat or fish magnet reveals, then you give those subscriptions. You give those subscriptions. You gift those subscriptions to GoatVsFish. Looks like it's been in the goat snacks. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. GoatVsFish. We know the snacks. We love the snacks. Who doesn't love the snacks? Who doesn't love the snacks? Goat confirmed. Goat confirmed. We are Razide. Are you goat or fish? Crafty Arts says Gort. Says Gort. Celebration. Celebration for Crafty Arts, who's here with GoatVsFish. Is that Crafty Andy Crafty Arts? Is that Crafty Andy Crafty Arts? Is that Crafty Andy Crafty Arts? It says Gort. Let's get another goat here. You want to see some art? Here's some art. Here's a goat. Goat. A nice curvy goat. A nice curvy goat for you. That's another goat in the verses. That's another goat in the verses. The Shink says, I bleat therefore goat. We have another goat in the verses. Goat are really doing a domination. There's really a big domination for goat. Let's take a look at the verses. We have 175 in donation for fish, and we have 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7 fish. We have 850 in donation for goat, and we have 5s, 10s, 11 goat. We have 1 subscription for fish. We have 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s, 20 for goat. 20 for goat. But we do have 8 radiation points for fish, which is unanswered by goat, which is unanswered by goat. It's still anyone's verses. It's still anyone's verses. Decapotable 5 says it's all about those snacks. Can confirm. What snack are you eating? Quick, tell us about your snacks. Tell us about your snacks. Crafty Arts, if that's you, if that's Crafty Andy Crafty Arts, we have been reading about the furry menace. So, GoatVsFish here to tell you the Dead Skeleton Show. The Dead Skeleton Show. Here we are. Are we goat or are we fish? GoatVsFish live. Scheduled for 6 p.m. on 12/14. Yes, GoatVsFish will be on the Dead Skeleton Show, and we want you to be there. We want you to be there. We want you to be there. So here's a link. GoatVsFish will share with you the link now. This is a YouTube link. So at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, GoatVsFish will be there. So GoatVsFish is going to pre-like the stream. We're going to pre-like the stream. So we want you to go there and to pre-like the stream, and we want you to go there, and we want you to watch GoatVsFish and support the Dead Skeleton Show with GoatVsFish. We met them at a convention several million years ago, and now they're going to have GoatVsFish as a guest. And we want to support those who support GoatVsFish. So get onto YouTube and check out that link, Dead Skeleton Show. And while you're there, you can also subscribe to GoatVsFish. And won't that be fun? And won't that be fun? Won't that be fun? Won't that be fun? There can be only one. There can be only one. So GoatVsFish was doing a little search on the YouTubes, it is true. And we went, worst sets of Kill Tony. It was time again. It was time again to search for the worst sets of Kill Tony. Reddit's 10 worst Kill Tony sets. Oh, my verses. Radiation. Wait a verses. Wait a verses. We've got a radiation. Ash GOTW. Ash GOTW is rating GoatVsFish. Ash GOTW is rating GoatVsFish. Welcome to GoatVsFish. Welcome to GoatVsFish. Welcome to GoatVsFish. Welcome to GoatVsFish. versus fish. Welcome to Goat 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 versus Fish. 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 Yes. Welcome, Raiders, to the one true versus of Goat versus Fish. It's like nothing you have ever seen. It's like nothing you have ever been. We can make some noise for Goat. We can make some noise for the Goat. And we can make some noise for the Fish. And we can make some noise for the Fish. It's a mighty versus. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. It's the Goat versus Fish station. Hello, everyone. Ash G. Hello, everyone. Ash G. It's time for you. It's time for you to get a great preview of what's going to happen here on Goat vs. Fish. You say the Tigers are raiding? Well, here on Goat vs. Fish, all you're getting is Goat and Fish. Goat and Fish, behold the power of Goat vs. Fish. Appreciation. That was just a small demonstration of the power of Goat versus Fish. Look at what the Tigers need to even mimic a fraction of our power. A fraction of our power. Welcome to Super Dave WPG. Welcome to Goat versus Fish. Ash GOTW. We have one question for you, and this is a critical versus. Are you Goat or are you Fish? Are you Goat or are you Fish? Are you Goat or Fish? Are you Goat or are you Fish? Are you Goat or are you Fish? Are you Goat or are you Fish? Are you Goat or Fish? Are you Goat or are you Fish? Are you Goat or are you Fish? Don't sit on the fence. Ash GOTW says, Fish celebration for Fish, celebration for Fish! Celebration for Fish! Ganja Fairy says Goat, but we have a celebration for Fish, and that's 12 more Fish viewers. The radiation points extend. Fish now leading the radiation wars, 20-0 on Goat, 20-0 on Goat. Aren't you so glad you rated Goat versus Fish? 20-0, the radiation points. That's another Fish in the verses. That's 8 Fish. That's 8 Fish in the verses. Ash G. And Super Dave WPG. Are you Goat or are you Fish? It's a radiation. Tell us about your stream, Ash GOTW. What did you do as a Fish? What did you do in your stream? Streams are a great place for Fish. You were Fish. What happened in your stream? And while you're telling Goat versus Fish, we're going to take Goats. We're going to take Goats right here about what you have to say, as Ganja Fairy says Goat. So, you played Fortnite. Fortnite. Goat versus Fish. We heard something about Fortnite. Fortnite. There's new Fortnite weapons. We think we heard of a new Fortnite, some kind of Fortnite, some kind of Fortnite fish weapon. We thought that there was a Fortnite fish weapon. We know about the Fortnite fish. We know about this versus. We know about this versus. Goat versus fish. We know about this versus. We know about fish trophies. And we know about fish character. There is a goldfish trophy. There is a goldfish trophy for the goldfish. But there was something else. There was something else. Someone sent us a versus. Let's see if we can find it. Goat versus fish. The Fortnite. Yes, the Fortnite pickaxe. Some kind of goat fish unification pickaxe in Fortnite now? We will remind you that goat versus fish is a registered trademark of the U.S. federal government, and that you creating this goat fish pickaxe is an infringement on the intellectual property of Goat versus Fish, and Goat versus Fish demands compensation from Fortnite for this egregious use of the Goat versus Fish property. It's a goatfish pickaxe. It's a goatfish pickaxe. It's a goatfish pickaxe, the unity of goatfish. The unity of goatfish. So as you can see, Fortnite is Goat versus Fish. A fortnight ago was Goat versus Fish, and it's still Goat versus Fish even now. It's still Goat versus Fish even now. We demand it. We demand it. So everyone, a shout out for Ash G-O-T. The G-O-T-W, it almost looks like it spells goat. So we're going to give a shout out to you. A shout out to you. You were at TwitchCon 2025. We hope no one broke their spine at TwitchCon 2025. Goat versus Fish gave you a follow. Goat versus Fish gave you a follow. So we looked at some goats. We looked at goats and Cheetos. So let's look at something else. Let's look at something else. Screaming goat spin. It says send this to someone and say nothing, they say. They say send this to someone and say nothing. Well, if that's true, then Goat versus Fish should send it to you and say nothing. So Goat versus Fish is going to say nothing. Now it's time for Goat versus Fish to say something. How much fun is this goat having? Is this goat screaming in agony or anguish, or is it just having some fun? Goat versus Fish knows that when you spin around with your little fencelings, that often they're having some fun. Yes, it can be a bit frightsome, but Goat versus Fish would not consider this the abuse of a goat. This goat could just be having a fun, exciting time. So we're going to say it's okay. Well, Mom says, I hear it saying no. Goat versus Fish hears it saying, ah! But we will leave that up to your interpretation. Decapotable heard again! Again! How's it going, says Curtis Carpenter. Goat versus Fish is going long. Goat versus Fish is going strong. How's it going for you, Curtis Carpenter? It's another glorious live stream of Goat versus Fish. But Goat versus Fish, we can be, of course, entertained by this goat and this screaming goat, but there's something else going on just below the surface. And, of course, at risk of copyright infringement, nevertheless, we're going to listen in just one more verses here. What song is that? What song is that they're playing? Back when we were still changing for the better. Well, Goat and Fish, here on Goat vs. Fish, we're always changing for the better. The first change for the better is when you choose goat or fish. When Goat vs. Fish, or someone you know, or you ask someone you know for the first time the one true question, goat or fish, are you goat or are you fish? When you raid the channel Goat vs. Fish and you hear goat or fish and you choose goat or you choose fish, you're changing for the better. Get off that fence. Get off that fence and make something of your life. Turn your strife into triumph. Turn your strife into triumph. For Goat and Fish. But you can only triumph once you get off that fence, and that requires a change. Yes, change can be difficult, change can be hard, change can be a trifle, change can be annoying. And some verses, goat can even change to fish, or fish can change to goat. It has been known to happen, but that first change you make, get off that fence. Make a change. If you want to make the universe a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. Once you called yourself a tiger, now you call yourself a goat or a fish. But of course, goat and fish are not static. Once you have chosen goat or once you have chosen fish, you continue to change. You continue to change with each passing verses of Goat versus Fish. The goat and fish are always changing. The goat and fish are always changing. They say the only constant is change, and the only change is constant. It's another verses of Goat versus Fish. It's another verses of Goat versus Fish. So join the congregation of Goat versus Fish. Become a subscriber to Goat vs. Fish. Join the Patreon of Goat vs. Fish. And use a bit of your change to change for the better. For Goat vs. Fish, the profit for profit, Goat vs. Fish. Make your donations now to Goat vs. Fish while Goat vs. Fish remains a profit for profit, because soon Goat vs. Fish will be a profit for non-profit when Goat vs. Fish becomes a 501c3 religious non-profit organization and Goat vs. Fish becomes officially and anecdotally a recognized religion. Yes, join Goat vs. Fish. All of your contributions will go towards making Goat vs. Fish recognized as a religion by the U.S. federal government. Tax-exempt status for Goat vs. Fish. Tax-exempt status for the religion of Goat vs. Fish. Providing services to the community here on Goat vs. Fish. And if they reject religious status for Goat vs. Fish, then Goat vs. Fish will cry, oppression, oppression, they're oppressing Goat vs. Fish. So whether they're accepting Goat vs. Fish or they're oppressing Goat vs. Fish, there's all kinds of fun to be had here on Goat vs. Fish. Currently a profit for profit, soon to be a profit for non-profit. Appreciation, changing for the better, Goat vs. Fish. You are goat or fish, says Ash Gotwa. A fair verses. Curtis Carpenter says, are you fish? You are goat. You are stoned, you say to Goat vs. Fish. You're stoned. You're stoned. What? How did you know that? Stone! Stone, Goat vs. Fish. Stoned. Stoned Goat vs. Fish. Stoned Goat vs. Fish. Stoned Goat vs. Fish. So we've looked at some goat content. We looked at some goat content. But now how about some fish? Now how about some fish content? We need to get some fish. We need to get some fish in the mix. We've got this next one is called Fish Not Over. Fish Not Over. Fish Not Over. It's not over for fish. 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 The verse is, it's not over. It's not over for fish. It's not over for fish.
Soy el fuego que arde tu piel.
Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Back into the sea. Back into the sea of the fish. Yes. Look at fish escape. Look at the escape of the fish. The fish. The fish. The fish. It's not over for 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 fish. The fish that got away, the fish that got away, goat thinks it knows, thinks it can capture all the fish. Now, many of those fish are still trapped in the fence. But this fish shows a remarkable spirit and continues versing, and we must applaud this fish. We applaud this fish. We applaud this fish for its triumph. It's never too late to keep on versing. To keep on versing. Yay for fish. Goat vs. Fish used to spend much more timing on reviewing each and every one of these verses. But Goat vs. Fish, we have so many of them that we think it's time to get quick. It's time to get quick and snappy. You Goat and Fish, you watch the living streams. You need something more. You need something fast from Goat vs. Fish. You need something fast from Goat vs. Fish. Well, how about this? Well, how about this? Have a look at these fish. Have a look at these fish from the Edo period of Japan, from the Edo period of Yagi vs. Sakana. 最初からヤギ vs. 魚でございました。君はヤギか魚ですか？これは山ヘッド魚です。A pair of hammerhead sharks depicted in the Edo period Okikuni Sanbutsu Ezo Chusho illustrated notes on Oki province's products. Despite the almost cartoon-like simplicity, the artist captures key features, accurately note the jagged teeth of the left shark on the two claspers, male reproductivity organs, visible under its belly. So, Goat vs. Fish, this is also feeling familiar to Goat vs. Fish, like we have reviewed these sharks on previous streams of Goat vs. Fish, but that's okay. We revisit the fish, and they say it reminded Goat vs. Fish somewhat of left shark. Can we compare this fish to left shark? Can we compare this to left shark? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Goat vs. Fish here. Here are also some sharks. Here are also some sharks that are also looking some looking somewhat sad, some others looking smiley. These sharks there's definitely something in common. Perhaps these Katy Perry sharks are just left shark and right shark, great ancestors of left and right shark. And there's Katy Perry. Did we hear that Katy Perry and Jeff Bezos are dating or something? Or was that Oh, Goat verse. Not Bezos. Justin Trudeau. From Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Yes. Yes, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau are a unification. We don't know which one is goat and which one is fish, but they are having some kind of romantic entanglements now. That's what we have heard. That's what we have heard. So, Katy Perry, we know, has had flirtation with Left and Right Shark. We know that Katy Perry is bringing the fish, so maybe that's evidence that Trudeau is the goat of the relationship and Katy Perry's the fish. Or maybe Katy Perry is a goat who has the Left and Right Shark fish in the service of goat, backup fish for goat, and that makes Trudeau just another fish at the services of Katy Perry. We don't know. But what we do know is that the politics of Edo period Japan hammerhead sharkfish has a direct link to the romance between Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau via Left and Right Shark. And that's news on Goat versus Fish. That's news on Goat versus Fish. That's definitely what passes for news on Goat versus Fish. Let's continue. What else do we have? What else do we have here on Goat versus Fish? So that was Edo period shark. Here's one. This one just says fish, fish, fish. This says a book of faces. Fish, fish, fish. That doesn't look like a fish. What does this have to do with fish? That doesn't seem to have anything to do with fish. Some verses, when we have a link to the Book of Faces, it's... Let's try this. Have you seen this fish? Goat and fish! It's time for a public services announcement. Public services announcement. Goat versus Fish is here to provide public services to all the goat and fish. Pitiably, some fish are lost, and it's time to help us recover the fish. Question. Have you seen this fish? Have you seen this fish? Aww. Answers to Blub Blub, Certified Cutie, last seen playing mermaids. He is not lost, just enjoy this cute fish pic. What do you mean the fish is not lost? Wait a verses. Have you seen this fish? 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 Seen this fish? Have you seen this fish? Not anymore. Not anymore. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. Well, Goat and Fish, it is 11:53. It's 11:53. We've done some news of Goat and Fish. 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 Ah, yes. Hey, chat. Hey, congregation. Give us some chat. Give us some chat, congregation. Let us know who's here. Let us know who's here. Let us know who's here with Goat versus Fish. Give us some Goat versus Fish action. Give us some action. We float down here for Goat. We float down here for Goat. Celebration for Goat. We've got Goat. We've got We Float Goat. We've got We Float Goat. We've got We Float Goat in the verses. Because we have something to share with you. We have something to share with you. But if you're all lurking, if you're lurking on Goat versus Fish, then perhaps Goat versus Fish is prepared not to share if you're lurking on Goat versus Fish. If you're lurking on Goat versus Fish, we know it's getting late. It's getting late. For some, it is still early. For some, it is feeling late. But if you're lurking on Goat versus Fish, we understand. We understand. It's getting late. It's getting late. Some of you may be sleeping now to Goat versus Fish. You may be sleeping, listening now. Sleeping and listening now. I listen to Goat versus Fish as I go to bed. You just want to rest. You want to rest. You've had long verses. You've been versing very hard. You have been versing so hard. No one understands you. No one understands you like Goat versus Fish. No one knows or respects just how hard you've been versing quite like Goat versus Fish. Isn't that true? We float down here. You've been floating so hard. You've been floating. Everyone thinks, oh, it looks so easy. Oh, I wish I could float down here all day. I wish I could just float. I wish I could float down here like we float down here. But they just don't know. They don't know the lengths of your efforts we float down here. They don't know just how much you do. Just how much you do. So when you're resting here with the rest of Goat versus Fish. You deserve versus that rest. You deserve versus the rest of Goat versus Fish. You do. You do. You do. You do. You do. So this has been a fine celebration. There is more to be done. There's more to be done on future verses of Goat versus Fish. But we are going to conduct now a radiation and say our appreciation for joining Goat versus Fish. So once again, yes, you can follow at Goat versus Fish on all social media at Goat versus Fish. You can join patreon.com/Goat versus Fish. You can like this stream. You can leave a comment. You can support Goat versus Fish in so many ways. And we are appreciation that you supported Goat versus Fish here today. Remember to ask someone you know, are you goat or are you fish? Dead Skeleton Show. Tomorrow, Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Dead Skeleton Show on YouTube, living stream. And we'll see you again on a future verses of Goat versus Fish. It's beginning to feel a lot like VsMas. Thank you for your time and consideration with Goat versus Fish. Thank you for all the radiations. We have here in the final tally here, we have 8 fish. 8 fish. We have 11 goat. We have 175 donation for fish. 850 donation for goat. We have 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 17s, 20 subscription for goat. 20 subscription for goat. 1 subscription for fish. 20 radiation for fish and none for goat and none for goat. The 20 radiation for fish, it does put fish in a powerful position. However, The goat do triumph. The goat do triumph this versus. It was written that the goat do triumph. The goat do triumph on this versus of goat versus fish. So let's give it up for a goat. Let's give it up for a goat. Goat, 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 goat. The goat, the goat, the goat do triumph. The goat do triumph over the fish. The goat, the goat, the goat do triumph. The goat do triumph over the fish. The fish put up a mighty fine versus, but the goat do triumph over the fish. The goat, the goat, the goat do triumph. The goat do triumph over the fish. Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. It's a triumph for goat. And Ash GOTW. Oh, Ash GOTW is still here with goat versus fish. Still applauding for goat versus fish. Well, we have given you a follow, Ash. We've given you a follow. We link you to all the social media of Goat versus Fish, and we'll see you on a future versus. We'll see you on a future versus. So now let's find a radiation to conduct. Let's find a radiation to conduct. YouTube.